讓企喺呢度咧，我就同大家講，經過咗一次嘅週末嘅相對嘅平靜，特區政府咧就好有誠意，希望可以搞住呢個機遇，同社會大眾展開一個對話。其後咧亦都係喺上個星期六。Last Saturday, I have invited
a group of individuals who would like to contribute their suggestions to the government. Last Saturday, we had a 3-hour communication. Actually, that is not a platform for a dialogue, because we want to have this dialogue with the residents, including those who participate in the demonstrations. We would like to hear the feedback from them. Last Saturday, we invited 19 individuals. They're actually under huge pressure, but they would love to walk into the government house and share their views. I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to all of them. Now we are still preparing for the platform for dialogue, and later on we will give you more updates about the preparation of the platform. Also, if there's any dialogue platform among the residents, myself and other secretaries and officials would love to attend those residents' dialogue platform. And for that meeting held last Saturday, we didn't invite any media, just like what we had yesterday afternoon. And we also realized there is a platform for dialogue among the residents. Myself and together with 2 other secretaries attend that platform for dialogue. At Sing, I found some younger generations attended the dialogue. I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to those people who attend the dialogue platform among the residents, because currently Hong Kong is in a difficult situation. As we all know, for those who are attending the dialogue may under pressure as well. And they also mentioned the 5 appeals from the public. I also explained the position from the SAR government. And for yesterday's meeting, some people are sharing their feedback on the government's position in establishing the Independent Investigation Commission. I would like to reiterate that, as I have mentioned many times, we have an independent police complaint council to handle some of the police complaints among the public gatherings and public processions. And for this IPCC, they will also want to investigate on the execution of the work by the policemen. Under such context, if there is another independent investigation commission getting involved, we do not approve the setting up of the Independent Investigation Commission. This is our position. This is not because some of the opposition from the police officers. This is one clarification. And the second point I want to make is that last Tuesday I said it is a peaceful
而且不但只係消失咗嗰一刻嘅平靜，禮拜六同埋禮拜日我哋見到嘅示威遊行，跟住發生嘅係一啲升級咗嘅暴力，係一啲已經唔係就咁掟。
And that is Chief Executive Carrie Lam speaking right now at a news conference in Hong Kong, saying that Hong Kong is in a difficult situation, that she does want to have dialogue with Hong Kong residents. She's mentioned that she's already spoken to some over the last several days, and she is currently preparing a platform for dialogue to get more feedback on the situation in Hong Kong. Again, that is still ongoing as we speak. We'll continue to follow this story with her comments throughout the day. Thank you for watching China 24. I'm Elaine Reyes. Of course, there's more news from our colleagues in Beijing straight ahead.
This is CGTN, China Global Television Network.
Good morning and welcome to The World Today on CGTN. I'm Li Dongni in Beijing. Now we go live to Hong Kong and continue our coverage on the Hong Kong SAR's Chief Executive Carrie Lam's news conference.
And
the lamppost is to facilitate the smart city. The innovation in Hong Kong is actually to cater the needs for the younger generation. We would like to provide more jobs for the younger generation. Unfortunately, some of those lampposts was damaged by the younger generation and those radical protesters today. So actually myself and other people who support the innovation in Hong Kong feel sorry about this act. Violence cannot resolve any problems. Violence cannot be lawful and glorified. And we will not use violence to end the violence. We will use lawful measures to end violence and restore order in Hong Kong. We hope the Hong Kong society can restore order and peace as soon as possible. This will help to facilitate the dialogue and also can help us to resolve some of the deep-rooted problems in the society. Because we do see some problems in the area of economy and livelihood, we need concerted efforts from the society to resolve all of those problems. The third point I want to make is that for the Hong Kong SAR government, we have zero tolerance for the violence. This is regardless of political opinions, your age, or your demand. SAR government and the police forces will help all of those offenders to justice and will treat everyone as equals. So for the Yuen Long incident happened on July the 21st, SAR government and the police force will closely follow this incident and help those criminals to justice. And we have already arrested 30 people and 4 people have sent to trial. And the nature of that incident is rioted. We hope the society can support us to crack down the criminals. For the complaints that has come out from the Yuen Long incident, as I have just mentioned, the Independent Police Complaint Council will investigate into that incident. Last point I want to make, for the last weekend, we see escalation of the violence and more damages to the public facilities. And some people are saying that we have lost the foundation for the dialogue. But we together would like to prepare and set up this dialogue platform. Without dialogue and communication, it is difficult for us to restore the peace and order for the society. We need this mechanism to help us to resolve the problems from the society. At the same time, I have also preparing my political report for 2019. So for this report, I will show some of our statements and also some of our recommendations. And we would like to hear feedback from the society and would like to serve the society. We would like to leave Hong Kong out of the predicament and restore the glory and order for the society. Thank you. Now is the Q&A session.
That was the Chief Executive of Hong Kong SAR, Carrie Lam, giving a press conference on the violence in Hong Kong. She said violence escalated during the weekend and the Hong Kong government has zero tolerance to violence and lawful measures will be used to end the violence. And she also mentioned the dialogue platform is being prepared and everyone will be treated equally in the process. All right, we'll be covering more on the violence and situation in Hong Kong in later bulletins. And as Carrie Lam just said, another weekend of protests turned violent in Hong Kong, and police turned violent. And police say protesters assaulted officers and also threw petrol bombs at them. 21 policemen were hurt. 86 people were arrested over weekend. Xing Ruinan tells us more.
The city braced for another day of violence on Sunday. Despite the drizzle, protesters once again took to the streets. 15 policemen were reported injured as the violence escalated.
The lives of our colleagues were threatened. After repeated but futile warnings, 6 police officers had no other choices but to pull out their guns to protect themselves, other colleagues, and the safety of the people at the scene.
It was the first time the police have had to fire a warning shot. Water cannon was also used for the first time.
Our officers' lives were in great danger. One officer fired a warning shot into the air. No one was hit.
Sunday's violence was in the district of Tsuen Wan. It was some of the worst in 12 weeks of political unrest rivaling the international financial hub.
I must emphasize the officers demonstrate great restraint. Their use of force was indeed necessary and reasonable.
86 individuals were arrested during last weekend.
Most of the people living in the district would like to urge all this violence to stop, because we don't want to see anyone hurt. We don't want to see all this violent act to continue from days to day, from weeks to weeks. Therefore, we would like to pass this message. We would like to all stakeholders in the community to say no to violence.
Sunday's marches took place in Tsuen Wan and neighbouring of Hong Kong's suburban New Territories. However, some extremely violent protesters deviated from their original routes. The violent protesters, armed with poles, hats and protective gear, escalated their violence in the afternoon and into the evening.
For the latest on the ground in Hong Kong, our reporter Ho Wei is now standing by for us. Now, Wei, first of all, tell us more about Carrie Lam's press conference this morning. What did she say exactly?
Well, at the press conference at the very beginning, Carrie Lam introduced the meeting that he held yesterday with a group of Hong Kong people. He said that yesterday afternoon he met with 19 people. They are mostly young people from different organizations. And they say that they have about 3 hours talk. But Carrie Lam says that the meeting was not the dialogue platform that she promised to establish, but it's just a chance for her to listen to people's voices. And he didn't mention much information about what they talk about because it was a closed-door meeting. She said she was very grateful for these people to come to the meeting because she knows that they're under a lot of pressure. And according to local media reports, they say that yesterday's meeting was also, Carrie Lam was accompanied by the Education Minister and also Home Affairs Chief. And the 19 representatives were invited by different organizations, and the whole meeting was held in the atmosphere was relaxed and peaceful. But no designated themes or topics no topics were designated for the meeting. Carrie Lam held this meeting just to listen to people's voices. And after that, Carrie Lam stressed that the violence cannot solve the problem that Hong Kong is witnessing right now, and the violence cannot be regionalized. And also, about the independent inquiry that a lot of people requires during their rallies, Carrie Lam said we already have a council that is IPCC, Independent Police Complaints Council, so there's no need to establish a new one for this issue. And that is for now. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Hui. We're reporting from Hong Kong. Well, the Hong Kong SAR government has strongly condemned the escalation of violence this past weekend.
These rioters' unlawful and violent acts have escalated to an extremely dangerous situation. They are not normal demonstrators, but reckless mobs with a propensity for extreme violence. I hope all the people understand that anyone who keeps silent about the violent acts will end up approving and encouraging violence, which will only lead to an escalation of violence and push Hong Kong to a dangerous brink.
Frank Chan Fan, the Secretary for Transport and Housing of the SAR government, said the rioters used fire extinguishers against police officers and spray-painted closed-circuit television cameras. Some of them even entered subway stations and blocked access to the gates entering the platforms. Meanwhile, the Secretary for Home Affairs said the violent actions have extended to communities and residents, severely affecting their normal lives and disrupting social order.
You've traveled to places where others couldn't be, seen things others couldn't imagine, and heard stories you can't be sure whether to believe. They say that you're privileged, that people look up to you. But only you know how much effort you've made. You're on the ultimate journey to discover a country with 5,000 years of history and nearly 1.5 billion people. Is it a green countryside or a vast sea of neon lights and skyscrapers? Is it a dangerous land choked with smog or the blue